Hi guys, Ben here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about iOS 17, which if you didn't know, that's the new iPhone update that should be coming out on whatever day I'm posting this video. So first of all, when you make a phone call, now they'll give you the option to be able to pick an image of yourself that it will show on other people's phones when you call them. They're calling this a contact poster, and so in the Contacts app you can make your own contact poster and like choose the font of your name and like a picture of yourself, and then that'll be what shows up whenever you call someone else with an iPhone. Another new thing about phone calls is that if you get a phone call and you don't answer it, they have a thing called live voicemail. So whenever someone is leaving you a voicemail on your screen, you'll be able to see like a transcription of everything they're saying in the voicemail. And then while you're watching them leave the voicemail or like what they're saying, you'll be able to have the option to accept the call while they're leaving the voicemail. In Messages, they've moved where the apps are, so now instead of showing on a row like on the bottom of the screen, now there's just a button that you push to see your apps. And in the iMessage apps, they added a new app called Check-in, so if you and someone else with an iPhone, like if you're about to travel somewhere, you can send them a check-in, so you'll tell it where you're going and what time you think you'll get there. And so then while you're traveling, if something happens to you and you're not making progress toward your destination, the other person will get notified and they'll be able to see your location, so they'll know that you're either making it okay or something happened, and they'll be able to see where you're at. For group chats, they added a feature, so like if you are in a group chat and they're texting a lot and you're kind of like missing it, the next time you go into the group chat, there'll be a little arrow that you can push and it'll bring you back up to the last place that you saw. So then you can catch up on all your messages that you missed while you were away. Now in Messages, when someone leaves you an audio message, it'll show a transcription of everything they said, so now you don't have to go find like a quiet spot to go listen to the audio message, you can just read it. In the Stickers app in Messages, now they're giving you the option to create your own stickers with live photos. So like if you have a live photo of you doing something silly or something that you want to make a sticker out of, you can just make a sticker out of it and add it to your messages that you can use later. They've also allowed you the ability to use stickers in more places now, so you can use them in other apps instead of just Messages. In FaceTime, after you call somebody, if they don't answer, you'll now be able to leave them a voicemail. So if you call somebody and they don't answer, then you can leave them a little video telling them whatever you wanted to say. And if you have an Apple TV, they're adding the FaceTime app to that, so you can use your TV to FaceTime somebody and it'll just use your iPhone as the camera for it. Another feature in iOS 17 is called Standby, and what this is whenever your phone is charging, either wirelessly or plugged in, if you put your phone sideways and like lean it against something, or if you have like a wireless charging stand or something, then it'll go into what they call standby, and so it'll be able to show you different widgets like the weather or whatever widgets you have available. So that's one of my favorite features in iOS 17, is being able to just like see information while your phone is charging without actually getting on your phone. But one thing to note about this feature is that currently the iPhone 14 Pro is the only iPhone where the screen will actually stay on and show you the widgets. For every other phone without an always on display, it'll go off after a few seconds and you'll have to tap the screen to see the widgets again. And for standby, you can show other things other than just widgets. You can also show photos or just a clock if you want. Also for standby, if you have any live activities, like the little things that show up on your lock screen, like a timer or whatever, when you're in standby mode, if you have a live activity going on, it'll make that full screen. So like if you had a timer going on or something like that, it'll show it in standby mode. Speaking of widgets, on your home screen, the widgets can now be interactive, which means like if you had a reminders widget with like a to-do list or something, you can now like click on things on the widget instead of it just opening the app like it currently does. In this update, AirDrop is getting a few new features, and one of them they're calling Name Drop. And what that is you'll now be able to bring two iPhones close together and hold them up to one another and then switch contact information that way. So you won't have to type in people's phone numbers anymore. You can just bring your phones together and it'll give you the option to share your contacts that way. Another new thing with AirDrop is now when you're AirDropping something to somebody, you can leave out of range of their phone and it'll still continue to transfer over the internet. So if you're sending something to somebody, you don't have to be right next to each other the whole time if you don't want to be. But this feature isn't coming out right away, so that'll be in a future update that should be coming out within probably a few months. They're also adding a new app called Journal, and I bet you can guess what it does probably. You just journal in it, and they say that it will be able to give you suggestions like about what to journal based on what you did that day. Like if it notices you went on a workout or something, or like you took pictures of a certain place, it'll be able to make suggestions to you about what to journal. And that is also not coming out right away. That's going to be coming out a little bit later. The keyboard in iOS 17 is now more accurate, so it uses machine learning to like learn words that you use often. So now it shouldn't try to autocorrect things that you don't want it to be. And if it does correct something you don't want corrected, it'll give you a little button up top to change it back to what you originally had. And the keyboard will now also try to predict what you're going to say. So like if you're texting somebody, it'll show in gray like what it thinks you're gonna say, and if it is what you want to say, then you just push the space bar and it'll fill it in for you. And that's another thing in iOS 17 that I think is really helpful. In Safari, they're now giving you the ability to have multiple profiles. So like you could have a work profile or like a personal profile, and pretty much I think what this is just different tab groups. So you can keep like personal stuff or work stuff or shopping or whatever, just like all separated. In Maps, you'll now be able to download maps to use offline later. So if you know you're going to be in an area that doesn't get good connection, or you want to save data, you can just download the map for that area and be able to use that if you're not connected to the internet. A couple new things with Siri in this update is now you don't have to say "Hey Siri" to get its attention, and you can just say "Siri" and she'll start listening. And after you ask her questions, she'll keep listening for a little while, so you can ask follow-up questions without having to say "Siri" again. In the Photos app, they're adding what they call visual lookup, so now if you have a photo of a certain thing, the Photos app might recognize it and will be able to give you more information about it. And in the Health app, they're giving you the option to log your emotions, so you can like go in there every day and tell it how you're feeling, so then later you can kind of see like in the past how you were feeling at certain times. Also in the Health app, there's these new questionnaires that are like standardized questions to determine your risk for depression or anxiety, if you want to check that out, I guess. Also in iOS 17, they're adding new features for AirPods, but the features are only for AirPods Pro 2nd generation. And what's new with them is you'll now have a new option called adaptive audio. And so when you have AirPods in, instead of noise canceling or having transparency, it's like a mix of both of them. So it'll try to let you hear like what's going on in your environment and to be aware of your surroundings, but also block out sounds that are really loud or things that you don't want to hear. And if adaptive audio is on and you start talking to somebody, it'll recognize you're talking to them and will make their voice louder and reduce background noise. They've also made it so that when you're on a phone call, you can just press the little button on the AirPods to mute or unmute your microphone while you're on the call. So that's what's new in iOS 17. I didn't cover like everything that's new in it, but I did get most of the main things. Also, you guys might have noticed that I have a different setup in this video. I was just trying to try something new because I thought this would be more interesting than just the blank wall that I normally have. So I don't know if I'll keep this up. I just thought I would try this setup for this video. I kind of like the different lights that I have. I thought it was kind of cool, but anyway. Oh, also, I thought I should mention this painting thing that I have here. It's actually not a painting, it's just like a print, and I did not make that. I got that when I was in Colorado a couple years ago. So yeah, just if you've noticed that in the background of this video, I didn't do that. Also, before I go, I thought it might be fun to show you some of the stuff that's on this shelf, because why not? So up here I have a little Lego thing of London that I got a while ago. I actually got it, I think, 2 Christmases ago, but I thought that was kind of cool. And then I have this picture. This is like a picture of me. I got that for my graduation, and I had a bunch of my family sign that. And then this is a little model of like a cruise ship that I went on in 2010. So I've had that for a really long time, and I still have it. I thought it was kind of cool. This is like a whole Lego setup of the office. Move this light so it's not all red. But this is a little Lego thing I got of the office. And so, like, it's so detailed. Like, there's so many little things. I thought that was pretty funny. And, like, Michael's office, like, slides out separately, so you can just see Michael's office. I actually got that also for Christmas last year. I've been into Legos lately. This thing and this thing I got from North Carolina. It actually says Oak Island on it, because I went there a few years ago with my family. That was fun. And then back here, I have just these little, oh, one of my guys got away. It's just a little magnetic toy thing. And then down here, I have another Lego city. This one is of New York, and I got this one also for Christmas. And this is a little drinking bird thing. So, like, if you put it in a glass of water, then it just keeps drinking it. This is another thing that This is another thing that I got from Oak Island, North Carolina. And then down here, I have a little, like, Zen garden. I actually don't use it that much, but it kind of looks cool. And then this thing, I actually do not know where this came from. This has been in my house for as long as I can remember, and now it's in my room. It's a little sand thing. I don't know if that's like a crocodile or what, but anyway. And then down there, I just have like a bunch of junk that I didn't have anywhere else for. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.